Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Alma and I do makeup videos here on YouTube. But today we're gonna do something different. I've done one of these videos before. It's get ready with me while I talk about a true crime story. And I look very shiny today. Please ignore that. I don't know why I look so shiny. I just added sunblock, maybe that's why. Anyway, today, if you want to see more videos like this where I talk about a true crime while I do my makeup, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into the video. So I'm not going to be talking about the products that I use, but if you want to see what products I used, I will leave them in the description down below. So take a look there and let's get into the story. Today we'll be talking about the LULULEMON murder, and I'm going to look down a little because I have my notes down here. When you think about LULULEMON, the last thing normal people think about is anything creepy or spooky. They just think about cute, expensive workout clothes. But of course, when someone creepy like me thinks about LULULEMON, the first thing that comes to mind is this story. So, Brittany Norwood and Jana Murray worked together at the LULULEMON store in Bethesda, Maryland. Jana Murray was a 30-year-old and she had already accomplished so much by the time she's 30, which is awesome. I'm almost 30 and I mean, I have not done as much as she has, that's for sure. So she was born on November 22nd of 1980 in Wichita, Kansas, and she grew up in Richmond, Texas after her and her parents moved there when she was young. She grew up in a very loving family, and the people who knew her described her as being a loving and genuine person. Didn't like, so it's more than I could say for me. She had a very big heart and would do anything for anybody, whether it was something big or small, whether she knew them, she didn't know them. She was just one of those people. She sounds like my mom a little bit. She's always picking up homeless people and stuff. Anyway, whatever. Jana, she loved to travel and she loved living her life to the fullest. She loved dancing and was very athletic. Not only that, but she was very focused on having a higher education, which is freaking awesome. Where is my mirror? 1 second. She was very fluent in Spanish, and she actually studied abroad for 2 years in Madrid, Spain. And while she studied abroad, she was enrolled in the St. Louis University Study Abroad program. She had actually completed a Bachelor's of Science degree from George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And at the time that she worked at the LULULEMON store, she was finishing 2 more degrees at the Johns Hopkins University. So you could say she was smart, she was determined, accomplished to follow her goals, like reach her goals and stuff. The two, when she worked at the LULULEMON store, like I said, she was finishing 2 more degrees, and those were a master's in business administration and a master's in communication. In her spare time, she did volunteer work and in 2011, her and her boyfriend were actually planning on settling down. Fraser, which is her boyfriend, had even gone as far as to talk to her parents about proposing to her, and he had actually gone ring shopping. So things were serious between the two. And when she worked as a sales team leader at the Lululemon store in Bethesda. She had a co-worker, and that co-worker's name was Brittany Norwood. So Brittany was also into everything that had to do with athletics and wanted to open her own gym. Born on May 19th of 1982, which made her 28 at the time. She was known for having a bubbly personality and always having a big smile on her face. Her friends said she was funny and fun to be around. She studied sociology at Stony Brook University in New York, but she didn't graduate. While she was at the university, she played in the soccer team, and her teammates said she was an amazing player. Her that people actually knew about, which is she liked to steal things, taking things that didn't belong to her. She would steal from her friends' locker rooms and things like her soccer teammates' locker rooms. And Brittany had actually just transferred to the Lululemon in Bethesda. She had actually plans to interview at a gym for a personal trainer position. And on March 11, 2011, Brittany and Jana were working the closing shift at the Lululemon. And at the end of the night, they closed up the store, and the Lululemon policy was that the coworkers who closed would have to check, or whenever your shift ended, you would have to check the other person's bag, and the other person would check your bag just to make sure you didn't steal anything. And when Jana checked Brittany's bag, she saw that she had a pair of yoga pants in there, but Brittany didn't have a receipt. And we already know Brittany is known for stealing, taking things that don't belong to her. And Brittany told Jana that she actually bought them from another employee earlier, but that she must have forgotten to give her the receipt. So they both ended up leaving, and Jana actually, she thought it was suspicious that she didn't have a receipt. She thought it was weird. So what she did was she ended up calling the associate who Brittany said that she had bought the yoga pants from. And just like she figured, that employee said that she hadn't sold her anything. So because of this, Jana ended up calling the manager, who told her that she would deal with it the next day. Just go home, I'll deal with it tomorrow. And after that, a couple minutes later, at around 10 p.m., Jana gets a call from Brittany saying that she left her wallet in the store, and she's asking Jana if she could go back to the store with her so she could get her wallet, because she didn't have a key and Jana did. So Jana, being a nice person that she is, she goes back to the store. She was even, I believe, she was parked like at a place that she wouldn't even be parked at, like that she wasn't even supposed to park, because she was just planning on going in and out. So, like I said, Jana goes back to the store, and then her and Brittany enter the store together. The next morning at 8 a.m., the manager gets to the store, and she finds that the doors were left unlocked, And the store, it was a mess, a disaster. There's blood all over. So she's like, what the hell? And that's when she hears a moan in the store, and she ran outside and she called the police when she was outside. And I guess there was a man outside, and she asked the man to go in or something and to see, make sure everything's okay. So the man goes in, and what he finds is that Jaina, she is dead in the back room. And as he's walking out, he hears noises. So he goes to check, and he finds Brittany alive with her hands zip tied. So at around 8:12 a.m., the police get there, and the ambulance gets there. So Brittany is taken to the hospital, and you could see that she had cuts on her legs, arms, and her abdomen, and on her head. Her pants were also cut open at the crotch, and on her way to the hospital, she went unconscious, but she woke up and told the police what had happened. So what Brittany said happened was that they went to the back to get her wallet, but they didn't find it. And when they were walking back out to the front, Jaina was hit in the face by one. There were two masked men, and one of them hit Jaina in the face. And Jaina was dragged to the back room by the man, and she said she heard Jaina fighting and screaming until it all faded. The masked man forced Brittany to get the keys to the safe and dragged her to the bathroom, where she was. At first, the scene looked like so anyway, like I said, after she died, Jaina was sexually assaulted with a wooden hanger. And the manager actually told the police about Jaina reporting Brittany for the theft. And the police actually ended up finding the two men on the surveillance footage. And what ended up being nothing, because they were just dishwashers from a nearby restaurant. And they were actually just leaving from work. And they had nothing to do with this. Just, I guess they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. And then the police, after actually taking a closer look at the crime scene, they realized that there was only one set of footprints at the store, and they actually found the shoes that the footprints belonged to, and it turned out to be shoes that actually belonged to the store. And I think that what they said was that they used these shoes for when they would do hemming for the clothes. And the shoes actually had been washed, and they had been put back in their place, but they actually had blood evidence on them. You can't just wash it off and expect it to be gone forever. And the police also found Jaina's car, which is it was a block away, and it was weird was that it had both Jaina and Brittany's blood inside the car. And next to the Lululemon store was actually an Apple store. And two employees, along with a security guard, had said that they heard two women arguing at around 10 p.m. They also heard screams, yelps, and somebody saying, "God help me, please help me." And these employees assumed it was nothing but drama, which is what they said. I mean, if you hear something like that, just call the police. I'm not blaming them or anything, but if you hear stuff like that, just always assume the worst, I think. I don't know if that's a good mentality to have, but I honestly, like... And anyway, the police are getting suspicious of Brittany. So they asked her to submit fingerprints and DNA. They also asked her if she was ever in Jana's car. And she said that she wasn't, which was a lie because her DNA was in the car. They also didn't find evidence of sexual assault on Brittany. And all of her wounds were superficial. Let me finish my eyes off camera because this is taking forever. And I will be right back. Okay, I did my eyelashes, so that's... My coffee's freaking cold already. So anyway, as I was saying, the police also found it very suspicious that Brittany's hands were tied in front of her, because it's something very unusual. Like, nobody ever does that. And Brittany later went to the police station on her own, and she told them that she was actually in Jana's car because the men forced her to move the car. Like, really? You just had to come up with that lie? Like, really? Did you really think they were going to believe you? What the hell? And on March 18th of 2011, the day they were holding a vigil for Jana outside of the Lululemon store, Brittany was arrested, and she was actually charged with first-degree murder. During the trial, they actually couldn't submit the evidence of the theft, like what they said when Jana said that she had stolen some yoga pants, because it was hearsay. So the jury didn't even hear that. And the prosecution said that Brittany lured Jana back to the store to get her wallet, but she actually knew she wanted to kill her. And they presented evidence to prove that Brittany had beaten Jana for 20 minutes, stopping along the way, like while she was beating her, to find different weapons. And on November 6th of 2011, after 1 hour of deliberation, the jury actually found Brittany guilty on first-degree murder. On January 27th, Brittany is actually sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Okay, so here's a badass judge alert, because on sentencing, the judge actually told Brittany, and I quote, "You will live. There will be Christmases. There will be telephone calls. There will be visits. The only visits Jana Murray will have are those to her grave." End of quote. So that's so sad, but like, ugh. Anyway, well, Jana was actually awarded her graduate degrees from Johns Hopkins, and that is just awesome that they would actually do that. And actually, Brittany, for some reason, thought she would make an appeal, and that one appeal was denied, which is good. I don't even know what she's trying to appeal. Like, she fucking killed her. Don't just keep your ass in jail. Stay in fucking prison. You deserve it. And the Lululemon in Bethesda, they actually had a stained glass mural, like a little memorial for her, and the stained glass mural says "Love," and that was like I said, dedicated to Jana. But then they moved the Lululemon store, and after moving the stores, I guess they didn't have a place for it at the new store, so what they did was they ended up giving it to Jaina's family. And Lululemon actually keeps honoring Jaina yearly on the anniversary of her death. And the family actually created a foundation. It's called the Jaina Troxel Murray Foundation. It was created in her honor, but I'm not really sure what it was for. The page hasn't been updated or anything in a very long time, so I'm not really sure what the foundation is all about, but they did that in her honor. And yep, that's the story of the Lululemon murder. Which, like, how fucking crazy. How crazy is it? What made this girl think, Brittany think, that she was actually gonna get away with this? Like, it was just terrible. Terrible, terrible story. So what did you guys think of the story? Did you like it? I mean, as much as you could like such a horrible fucking thing. So, yep, that's the story of the Lululemon murder. Horrible thing that happened to Jaina. All because, why? For some yoga pants? Like, really? Like, just save your freaking money to buy the yoga pants if you really want them so bad. It's ridiculous. But at least the person who did this is in jail, in prison for her whole life. And she can't do this to anyone else. So that's, I guess, the positive thing here. How cute is this guy? So that's the finished look. That's it for the story for today. Let me know what other stories you guys are interested in that I could do. Yeah, just let me know. And remember to, if you want to see more videos like this video, subscribe,